And hello and welcome. Thanks so much for those of you that pop in before I even press the go live button. I'm talking about Bill Gold. I'm talking about JDO, Danny Steele, Lori. So nice to have you guys. Nice to see you in the chat talking to each other. Tonight is going to be a kind of a fun night. Why it's going to be kind of fun is that hopefully I'll share some of the enthusiasm from the things that I've been learning. Now, last year, and for those of you that are maybe new to the channel and don't know my story, in short, I took a little bit of money, and because I used a very simple strategy of buy quality assets that I could earn a yield on. So I didn't buy assets that I couldn't park on a platform to earn interest or park in its own protocol wallet and earn a staking reward. And why I felt that was important was, yes, it's great that some assets get incredible appreciation because of the amount of money that I started with. The truth is, I didn't have time in my mind because I'm old. I don't want getting older every day. I wanted to accelerate the process, and that was the whole thinking behind buy a quality asset that can earn yield. And over the last 3 years, as products in these blockchains, specifically a lot of the proof of stake blockchains, have come into the space, I considered layer one protocols a quality asset. Well, proof of stake chains generally are in the anywhere from 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15% yield category. Well, when you start getting up into the 10, 12, 14, 15% yield and you're compounding that on a daily basis or a weekly basis, it adds up extremely fast. Bottom line, we get to this year, and I was looking at my portfolio and learning more about what I believe will be the future of this space. I believe the future of this space will not be driven by a simple protocol. I think Bitcoin has got the store of value market locked up, but the layer one protocols that applications will be built on that service billions of people, I think that is an absolute open market. I think it's anybody's game. It could be Ethereum, it could be Avalanche, it could be Solana, it could be Cardano, it could be Algorand. It might be all of them. My bet is it's going to be all of them. Or better stated, it's my bet that it is going to be the chains that produce great user experience and allow users the most access to the most things. I'm talking about the Wi-Fi of crypto. I'm not talking about siloed ecosystems like we're used to. I'm talking about fully interoperable user experiences where somebody who is maybe using the blockchain version of Uber could be dealing with somebody who's offering a service on the blockchain version of Airbnb. And although they may be built on different protocols, maybe one's on Cardano and one's on Avalanche, they seamlessly can exchange value back and forth through very simple routing protocols. One of these routing protocols that I think is going to gain a tremendous amount of traction in the next couple of years is IBC, the Inter Blockchain Communication Protocol. It is truly a remarkable piece of technology. And it seems to be front and center and at the absolute foundation of the Cosmos ecosystem. Been diving into the Cosmos ecosystem. I'm telling you, I like what I'm seeing. Now, I found Cosmos because it was offering itself up early as a layer one protocol. What I didn't know is that it's actually a layer zero protocol, and that this Tendermint consensus protocol, which is the validation element of it, how transactions get validated, routed, etc. This heart of Tendermint lends itself to be universal. See, that whole concept that Ethereum seems to be stuck on is, with all the wonderful tech that Ethereum brought to the table, it brought all that tech in one stack. So transactions and the EVM and all that stuff is in one stack. And that's why it's so expensive and so, truth be told, slow and hard to deal with. When you extract the transaction layer out and have it as its own thing off to the side, you free up a tremendous amount of stuff, whether it be compute, whether it be what have you, functionality, etc. That's what these new blockchains are really starting to use and maximize. And that's why you're seeing Solano. That's why you're seeing Avalanche. That's why you're seeing these protocols that keep the transaction layer out of the way of what you're trying to do. It's just a thing that happens under the hood over there. And it's that over there thing. So watch for it. I strongly suggest to anybody, you don't have to be a tech genius, but you do have to kind of understand some generalities. Think of it like this. The more the chains that you are invested in can do with other chains, the better off you will be. It's like the Wi-Fi. It's like the email. Do you want to live in a world where if you have Gmail, you can only send correspondence back and forth to other Gmail users? Or do you like the fact that you can send an email to anybody regardless of what their email address is? I kind of like that ubiquitous movement, the being able to go anywhere. And I want my crypto to do the same, just like our emails do. Well, that crypto Wi-Fi moment is starting to become more and more front and center on the development side. We're seeing it. It's rolling out. I'm experiencing it because I'm getting more and more involved with more and more projects that are IBC compatible in our blockchain communication protocol, which happens to be the Cosmos ecosystem. It's pretty remarkable stuff. The yields aren't too shabby either. So last week, when I was discussing about unleashing my yield machine, I was talking about a lot of the things that are in this Cosmos ecosystem. Blended rates of sometimes 65%. Well, when you put $100,000 to work in a machine like that, go to Google, get a compounding interest calculator, type in your numbers, and it's mind-boggling. It absolutely is mind-boggling. And I'm not talking about liquidity pools with the potential of impermanent loss. I'm talking about just good old-fashioned staking. Here, I bought some tokens. I'm staking it to your protocol, and bada bing, bada boom. So let's see some people have popped in since I was started to go on my rant. Pete Kelly, nice to see you. Apex Crypto in the house. Lorena is here. Lee, hello, Mr. Loving. Hello, Mr. Loving Earning Yield. I learned so much from you. I started looking into opportunities to earn yield since I listened to you. I earned some passive income already. Thank you so much. Well, right on, Lee. Matter of fact, I got something to show you all very soon, Pete Kelly. Brian, nice to see you made it to the live show. Sylvia Andrews, nice to have you. John Carter, are we talking about Polkadot? We could talk about Polkadot. A lot of the same principles are involved. However, one of the things about Polkadot, it's the promise of tomorrow, right? Polkadot promises something tomorrow, and I'm all for it. In all fairness, I own a shit ton of Polkadot. I even allocated to the Akala, parachain auction, right? Joe Fernandez, nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. But no, I haven't been talking specifically about Polkadot tonight because there is this cosmos cosmos ecosystem unfolding before our very eyes that is offering some absolute richness. Check this out. There's a project called Akash. Their entire purpose is building a decentralized cloud computing experience. How cool is that? Say hello, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, etc. Compute is going to be huge. We need computing power. Well, a decentralized cloud computing system that I can own a piece of by buying some of the tokens and staking it and protecting the protocol. Who doesn't love that? How about this? How about a beautiful smart contract platform that has as its programming language for you to go write your smart contract scripts in JavaScript? JavaScript, the #1 programming language on the planet. The most developers in software use JavaScript. Well, now we have a blockchain where you can write your smart contracts and your code in JavaScript. You don't have to go learn a new programming language. That might open it up to more novices, to more people who maybe don't have the savvy technically, but have a business idea and want to put it down. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of innovation comes of that. Then you've got this thing that they have. This is so incredible. An apps, a legitimate smart contract platform by the community for the community. No VC investors, no foundation behind it gobbling up all the tokens, no advisors getting tokens. 97% of all the tokens were issued to the ecosystem through airdrops. That's called Juno, and it's live now in the Cosmos ecosystem. Now, for those of you that are just kind of dabbling or just starting to get your mind around this, go to Map of Zones. Map of Zones. And that'll give you a rough idea. Map of Zones. Let me say hello to Belinda. Hi, Belinda. And hello, Martin. What are my thoughts on XRP? XRP, I'm actually very happy that I used to own a shit ton of it because today I was able to load up the Songbird network in my MetaMask wallet and go claim, or not claim, I already claimed them a long time ago, see the Songbird airdrop and the EXFI airdrop that came from owning XRP back December 12th of 2020. So I'm tickled pink. $3,000. Hello. Now I'm going to keep some and I'm going to sell some. And what I'm going to keep, I'm going to learn how to put to work. And that's the beauty of this game, right? This game of crypto is you got to figure shit out. None of this is easy, right? You might be in an ecosystem that you might need 3 different wallets to deal with one ecosystem because not every wallet deals with every project in the ecosystem, right? It's really a trip. It's a trip. And all the stuff that was being unfolded on the Ethereum network several, 2 years ago and got big, DeFi and NFTs and all these things, I was priced out of all that. I couldn't go play in that playground. The Ethereum fees are just too goddamn high. And I was trying to build a portfolio. Well, I'm not going to invest $100 to earn $20 and have to give 18 of it away in gas fees. That didn't make any sense to me, right? Well, here are these projects like Solana, Polygon, Cosmos Ecosystem, Avalanche, Cardano, that are rolling out stuff where I can actually do some of these things with very legitimate, reasonable fees involved. It's kind of cool. So I'm learning, I'm getting to go play. But more importantly, I'm seeing the opportunity to transition from acquire, right? Eat top ramen so that I can ink out that next quarter and buy that next 25 cents worth of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I'm actually looking at, okay, you know what? I'm in a position now where I can have my portfolio generate all the money I need to live plus. And why is that important? Well, because I'm doing some stuff, right? I have this plan and I'm going to share it with you in a couple of moments. The plan is to have some of this crypto wealth provide the roof over my head. Currently and for the last 3 years, I've been renting this little tiny studio apartment. Believe me, there's nothing much, right? It is bare bones basic. And if this is where I lived, if the place that I had in the United States was like this, you would consider me poor. In a Latin American country, this is actually very middle class. But a lot of you probably think Jerry's living like a pauper. Well, I kind of have been living like a pauper, but it's been because I had a goal. And I'm now getting to a point where I can start shifting some stuff and turning things into not so much concerned about the compounding interest so that the quantity of my assets grow. I'm going to keep doing that. So it's not like I'm ever going to take 100% of the yield that I generate to live on. Still going to always have some of it compounding back into the principal because I want it to grow. But I want to do stuff, right? I have a dream, and I hope that you guys have dreams. I hope that you're doing the things that you do as it pertains to maybe you're sacrificing a Starbucks latte and putting that $5 in a jar so that you can buy some more Ethereum or some Bitcoin or some Cosmos or something. I think Avalanche will do great, Martin. I think they're working on the same thing. That most of these new layer ones, and when I mean new, I'm talking about everything beyond Ethereum, are all working towards interoperability type stuff. They're working on being and providing services that are available to a mass audience. And whether it be through elaborate bridges or things like the IBC, they're trying to make it so that these things can all work together so that you can seamlessly move value around, right? So my challenge is how to get an asset that I've been compounding to create a paycheck, meaning it's got to go from an asset to a US dollar in my account. How do I do that? Well, you might think it's easy. It's not that easy. It's not that easy if you take into account I live in a different country, not in the United States, although my banking is, and I am obviously taxed as a US resident. I have got taxation to think about, right? So it's not simple. And I got this stuff that I'm doing. So let me show you what I'm doing, why I'm doing all this stuff. So if you can see, this is the first 3D version of what I'm building. There's a parking structure, 6 cars, a utility room, and a storage room, a nice ramp. So if somebody didn't want to walk upstairs or had a wheelchair or something, they would have this will be accessible. A really beautiful outdoor open air kitchen and living room common area. And then 4 beautiful studio apartments, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all with mezzanines that have doors going out to a nice balcony. And all of this has a view of the waterfall I have on the property and a giant river across the street. And that is why I'm doing what I do. So, you know what I thought would be fun to share? Why don't you guys share with me why you're doing the things that you're doing? Why are you trying to make sense of this crypto space and trying to make sense of investing? It's got to be beyond more, it's got to be more than just numbers in your checking account. And while I wait for you guys to throw your answers in, I'm going to bring in my producer, Brady. And pretty soon we should be seeing Bita Av pop in. She's going to be joining us tonight. So, Brady, what do you think, buddy?
I think you are certainly not only on to something, but moved on to creating something that will be a reality, not just because of crypto, but since you found these assets, you've applied yourself in a manner that has taught you how to invest given your current life demands. So whether you want to live in a big fancy place or go learn everything you need to know about what Jerry's looking at and build his fancy place. So it's sort of a you're getting to where you want to go, and it's anyone can do it. It's just a matter of applying yourself and going through the things that we've learned that are teachable and repeatable.
Well, I think it's really cool. Like, thank you, Brady. And the truth is, this is 100% built by crypto.
Hmm.
100%
Financed and
finance,
everything else.
realized the whole. I mean,
Funded.
the 7 different ways I'm going to eke out the cash to make this happen. Lorena is paying off her student loans and going to change her family tree. I think that is so cool. And one of the wonderful things about these this crypto space and the ability to earn interest and yield, right? That whole concept has been gone for most of us for a very long time. I can't remember. I think 7 or 8, 9, 10 years old was the last I remember being able to go to a bank and safely earn like 5-6% on my savings account. You know what I mean? And so as an adult, yield or safe yield was really relegated to the bond space. And bonds just continue to seem like every couple years just go down to another lower level and then down to a lower level and down to a lower level. And it was like, okay, that kind of sucks. All the safe ways. So if you can't do it safely, then you got to dedicate a shit ton of time to learn or a shit ton of trust into somebody. And that's where I think a lot of us did. We trusted registered financial advisors and Wall Street and entities like that to take our 401k money and our retirement plans. Well, if you look at the returns and what they charge, it's not that, what, you get 8% maybe?
If you're lucky.
Right?
Dumpster juice.
Once you, I mean, Ray Charles could see the prices of shit is going up, right? Well, they've been going up for a long time. How many graphics can you find on the internet that shows the decline of purchasing power of the US dollar over the last 80 years? It's disgusting. So it's not a new phenomenon. You know what I mean? It's not a new phenomenon. Yet we've all been kind of conditioned that it's normal. Hey, Johnny Midas is in Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, my uncle is from Fort Worth in the Commonwealth there, Dallas Fort Worth Commonwealth. Good evening, everyone. Trevor and Lee. I want to be financially free from my 8 to 5 job and work on what I love without having financial pressure. Lee, what do you love? What do you love, brother? Danny. Now, little story about Danny. Danny and I go back to when I was a little kid, like before I was even a teenager. That's how far back Danny Steele and I go. I want to buy the property next to Jerry and retire. Well, Danny, guess what? I just bought the 5 acres that surrounds where that house is going to go, and we'll build you a house, bro. No problem. Let's see. Belinda, I simply love life. Well, I know that I happen to know Belinda, and I know that she loves life. But you know what I think she loves as part of life? She loves winning the game. Belinda likes to win. Doesn't matter if it's checkers or Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Let's bring in Bitta and see what Bitta's doing. Why Bitta does all this shit that she does. You should do a topic on Pancake. Have no idea what Pancake is. Oh, it's a social media platform. Brady was talking about doing, Jerry, we should do a Twitter Spaces thing. Maybe we should. Let's welcome in Bitta. Bitta thinks we should do. Bitta, what should Brady and I do?
Happy Friday. Happy New Year, everybody.
Hello.
It's so good to see you, Jerry and Brady. I have missed y'all.
You too. And thank you for all the messages while I was recovering and getting my wits back.
Of course. I had to always check on you, make sure you're still doing what you're doing in the background, but still kicking.
I'm
back
still
in the saddle.
I'm still in loving this new path of learning.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the first 25 minutes of the show, so I am just now coming in. So
it was pure internet gold. It was. I'm telling
you. Watch it on replay.
I basically rambled on for 20 minutes about yield.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a new story with me, yield, but where I'm finding it is the new story. So in this Cosmos ecosystem, which is all under the Atom token umbrella, I'm finding wonderful companies putting up their projects on blockchains that are giving incredible yields, very safe. You just stake your token, and I'm turning that yield into US dollars and Bitcoin.
Oh.
You and I are so used to the 5% returns on our assets, and we consider that kind of normal. And the above normal are the 10 and 12 percenters, right?
Right.
Well, Bitta, there's a whole world out there of 30 percenters, 45 percenters, 65 percenters. Dare I even say 100 percenters? I just got an airdrop today of 0.01 of the token, and I can get 0.01 of this token every day and stake it, but it's yielding 1,250%. Well, it only needs to do that for a month if I continue to every day compound my 0.01.
Okay.
Anyway, you put it in the compounding interest calculator, it's staggering.
Well, let's, I guess
buttons.
I would ask the question about security.
That's the wonderful thing. Most of the stuff that I've been diving into now is secured because it's proof of stake, and it's proof of stake on top of proof of stake. So when you look at total value locked, it's disgusting. There's tons of it. And we're all seeing it. Like you've heard about Solano, and you've heard about Luna, and you've heard about Avalanche, and you've heard about, even Cardano, believe it or not. The total value locked of these protocols, it's staggering. Well, in a proof of stake protocol, value locked is that's the security. The larger the total value locked, the larger the security parameter.
Are you staking from your own wallet, or do you have to put it on a platform? Oh, that's even better.
I'm staking on Nexo a large amount of money because I intend to borrow a shit ton of money.
Okay.
But I also have a lot of money in these independent, in my own little wallets, like my Cosmos Station wallet and my Kepler wallet for this Cosmos hub in this Cosmos
Okay.
ecosystem. What is
What was
proof
that
of
one?
stake? Oh, say it again. I'll get to you in a second, Danny. What was that, Bita?
Sorry, you said the Cosmos, and what was the other
That's
the
it.
other one?
That's so the two wallets are Cosmos Station and then Kepler. Kepler
Kepler.
is like the MetaMask of the IBC world.
Okay.
IBC, I'm sorry, you weren't here for the first 20 minutes. IBC is the inter-blockchain communication protocol. It's like an interoperability mechanism.
Okay. I have to research that.
It's just phenomenal. Like Terra Luna is part of that. Kava is part of that. Fetch AI is part of that.
Okay.
Those are just a couple of the ones you may have heard of. There's also a
Yeah.
ton. All right, Danny, proof of stake is how a consensus algorithm can secure itself. So proof of stake is the proof of how much actual value is on that chain to secure that chain. Proof of work is computers racing to solve a problem to get a reward. And that's what the amount of energy a proof of work protocol dedicates to the protocol is the amount of security that protocol has. The proof of stake is exactly the same. The amount of stake tokens from that ecosystem that are being staked to that protocol, the volume or number or quantity of that stake is in proportion to the security of the protocol. All right, JDO, this is a great question. Thank you for bringing this up, or a comment. My concerns on high interest projects, it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. There's a reason they're paying rates. You're right. Why do they pay rates are so high? It's real simple. They're built on equations relative to the size of the population. So the number of stakers and the number of stake will dictate the percentage yield that the protocol is giving as a reward. So why these IBC Cosmos Station stuff are giving so much better rates than for, let's say, Nexo or BlockFi or Celsius is because they're new and they're trying to attract a user base, and they're trying to attract capital in the form of stake to secure their protocol. Obviously, the more money gets put onto these protocols, these lower the interest rate that they're providing is going to be, because there's only so many tokens in the protocol to give out. Now, some have inflationary schedules, but again, inflation, if you're giving interest, if your stake and rewards are a part of an inflation scheme, then eventually there's a point of saturation where people will no longer stake their tokens, they'll sell their tokens, and that'll skew the price, and then the algorithm will have to change its distribution. So a lot of these things, hopefully, with these algorithmic governing mechanisms, will keep themselves somewhat in check. Higher interest rate. This is from Mentalec. I can't pronounce that. Mentalactic. How do you say mental intelligent? Mentalactic. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Probably just
Higher interest rates in the thousands of percent correlate with increased danger. Yes and no. Let's go, Val. Hi, Jerry. Can you make a video how exactly you funded your property house like Dan teaches? You know what, Val? No, I won't do that. But I'll tell you what you could do if you were really interested in learning all the mechanisms that I use. You can join the Patreon group, which gives you access to me, and you can ask anything you want on your one-on-ones. I'm more than happy to help you. But I'm not going to make a video on that because everything is different. this is too complex to be general. I've already given you the generalization is there's a combination of yield that I get as a paycheck. There's a combination of my pristine assets I'm going to use as collateral to borrow money against. And it is that combination that's allowing me to fund the land acquisition, which I've already done. And now I'm funding the design and construction. And that's just, there's your video. We just did it in 60 seconds. Yield and collateralized loans.
We'll have the clip for you when you leave the auditorium.
We'll have the clip for you when you leave the auditorium.
T-shirts will be later.
Well,
oh yeah.
Thank you for chiming in. We're sorry about that crazy echo. But what's more important is what else Bitta's got going on. Bitta, tell the folks what you've been up to since we saw you last.
Well, I hope there isn't that bad of an echo right now, but I have a kid running around, so well, I have found a few projects, well, not project, like places where I can actually open up a new account and stake without having to go through Nexo, because I'm not able to use any of like the other protocols that you use or any of the apps that you guys use. Brady and I are kind of like in a unfortunate situation where we're not all of them are available to us. So I'm kind of finding my way around there. And I am actually wanting to do more like interviews and more focus on security. That's kind of what I've been looking for, people that have been doing a lot of computer security stuff and wallets and things like that. So I wanted to focus more on like helping people to make sure this is how you secure your account, because I built something and then it all kind of, well, majority of it got taken away. So I want to focus on like the base level of the security, how to understand all how that works. So that's what I've been working on, is really the security. So that's what I want to focus on moving forward, because I feel like we've figured out the crypto, like which which one we wanted to pick. And I don't want to like have a portfolio of 50 different things. I want to pick a few good ones that I know are going to do great and focus on that instead of spreading myself thin. So by now I've kind of, and of course there's always going to be new projects that come out, but learning also from Noah, which I try to catch his lives as much as possible. I'm trying to strategize to the point where I'm not spreading myself thin. So yeah, security. This year is going to be all about security for me, because that's the worst.
You have good reason. You have good reason. And there's nothing like a personal history with something to really drive something home. It's like for me in the heart attack thing, I've had the intellectual awareness and knowledge that not only smoking is horrible, right?
Yeah.
But it was diminishing me, right? I knew that intellectually. I knew the science behind the constriction of blood vessels from the actual substance of nicotine, right? The oxygen deprivation, right? The potential of getting things like COPD, which, once you get to a point, you get to a certain point, there is no coming back. There is no recovery from it. You got it. There is no, I'll just do some push-ups and it'll go away. No. I knew all that. 40 years I knew it. Could not give up them fucking cigarettes. And that heart attack changed my whole perspective.
How do you feel right now? Do you have the urge now, like, or you're just good?
Oh, constantly. All I want to do is smoke. It's horrible. I told my son, I got my son here, and my dad's still smoking. And I had a little heart to heart with my dad today. I said, Dad, there'll be no smoking at the new house. He was like, what about outside? I go, no, there's no smoking at the new house. He goes, well, no, I'm not going.
Oh.
Then you'll stay here. I'm serious, man. I'm equating cigarettes with death. And I can't, it's like, a lot of people don't get this. I'm a hardcore nicotine addict. It ain't about knowing that it's bad for me. I want it. It's chemical. I want it. And so every day is every minute is a battle. I'm battling right now. I cannot wait for this stream to end because I remember at the end of my old streams, that's when I get to light up. We'd finish the stream, turn the thing on, I'd smoke. Not happening anymore.
You can actually now, you could say serious as a heart attack. That's how serious you are, Jerry.
And it made me think about a lot of things. You know what I mean? It really made me think about there's an element to we sacrifice for our futures, and that's important. I believe there's an element of that those who will not delay gratification are doomed to not ever have riches in front of them. If you constantly consume and pull forward, right, pull from the future prosperity right now, there will not be a lot of abundance for you in the future. So there's a certain amount of delaying gratification, putting stuff off, that if you want to have more later, you have to do that, because those two, they're like contexts. Those two contexts can't live in the same space. You know what I mean? An abundant future and an abundant today don't live in the same spot. You need to have like a balance where you take some from here and, da 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 da. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, is have some balance, because for the last couple of years, it was all sacrifice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to sacrifice as much as you have, honestly, because yes, I want the riches, but I don't need to be that rich. Like, I still want to live now. Okay, like it's not that necessary. I want to be good, but I do not need to sacrifice way too much now to get to where I need to be. That's my attitude, because if I die tomorrow, I still want to have enjoyed what I have before I go. So that's kind of my attitude towards life. It's like I still want to enjoy stuff, but not to an extreme. So there's still things that I do that I know I shouldn't do, but I'll still do, because it's like, that's what I work for. Like, leave me alone,
No, and
but I'm good with it.
There's also, you and I have two different time horizons, right? I'm 20 plus years older than you. So that's 20 years that I don't have that you do have.
That is true.
And time horizon is a big deal. But you know what? Things are working out. And this process of getting up every day and trying to learn a little something new, right? Like I'm having to learn about these new wallets, and how to do this, and how to claim this airdrop, and how to have this network in my MetaMask wallet, and how do I get this, and I want to do this, and it seems like everything I do opens up another page of something else I have to learn.
It's a lot. It's so much.
Every day, here's a new thing to learn, right? So today was, how do I get my Songbird tokens? How do I get them? I want them. I want to see them. Now, tomorrow morning is going to be, what do I do with them? Right?
There we go.
It's not enough for me to just have them. Now that I have them, what is my...
They got to start paying their rent.
I don't own shit that doesn't pay me to own it. So where do they go to work? Where are my little Songbird tokens? Going to go earn some more Songbird tokens. I got to get them a job so they can go do something and make some more.
It's great that mind shift is wonderful, though, isn't it? Just knowing you have a plan for things and how we have a routine now versus where we were a couple of years ago, where you didn't have that same routine. So
a couple of years ago, I needed the answer to the question, and the question was, did I do the right thing? 2018 and 2019, every single day was filled with that question. I'm not sure if I did the right thing. I went all in on crypto, and it's not been looking good. 2 years of not looking good. And now it's
But look
looking
at you
great.
now. Exactly. Look at you now.
Rich.
I was just thinking about that in my head.
I'm rich, bitch. I'm building shit. I'm buying property and building. I have a friend says, saw that 3D model, said, that looks like some kind of like luxury lodge or something. And yeah, it kind of is, huh? See, the idea is I'll live there for a while, and then because I own the whole mountain above it, I'll build a place higher up the mountain, and this will be perfect for my friends that want to come. When you want to bring your daughter, Brady, different folks from the show,
Bingo
different folks.
bongo.
We'll do some kind of cool, we'll do some cool stuff, and this will be perfect. By the way, if any of you really want to know where this is, all you got to do is go to your Uber app or your Google Maps and type in Beyond Moon Farms.
Boom. That's so cool.
Farms. Matter of fact,
It's on a map.
it's on the map. It's pretty cool. Beyond Moon Farms, Google Map or Uber Eats.
Oh,
Right? Find out how much it would cost to get a real New York pizza delivered.
over there.
Oh, it's thousands. It's thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. But you could, if you
It's an
want
option.
to, maybe with some of that yield money.
But it's an option.
I just think it's cool.
It is. It's amazing.
I think it's cool that a poor boy from Sonoma County, who at 50 years old thought he was gonna, die under a bridge because I had no money, not really nothing to speak of. I'm getting to build my dream.
But you've sacrificed for it.
Yeah.
So.
And each and every one of us get to build our own dreams as we go through this incredible process of learning how to create our own financial security. How cool is that?
Pretty awesome.
I think it's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, if we can all just get rid of this whole pandemic so we can all travel and live life a little, that would be great.
That is kind of nuts, huh? I feel bad for you guys. We don't have it as bad as you guys got it. I mean, we're under the, wash hand protocol, mask in public places protocol, but I don't have if you don't get a shot, you can't be part of this. They don't have that here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad over here.
A lot of that going on in the States. It's like if you don't get a shot, right? If you don't have some kind of digital or physical version of verification that you've got a vaccine, then you can't participate in something. That's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of un-American.
Well,
Seems un-American.
where I am, we cannot go to the restaurant and sit and eat. We cannot go to Starbucks and eat. Some places you will get fired for not having a vaccine, especially all the government and hospital, especially the hospitals. You could not. A lot of people have been fired for not having their vaccine. All the people that have worked through the pandemic when nobody knew what was going on, have sacrificed everything, now have been fired because some of them didn't get vaccinated, which is kind of like, I don't really know how to wrap my head around it. And, there's so much going on in the world. There's so much war and just everywhere. It's not just in one location. It's just everywhere. The whole world is just, I don't know. Just
I can't take it. We're going back to the 3D model. You just slapped me around. Okay, I'm thinking Bitta. I'm thinking we'll put you over here in this suite because it's got a two queen beds, one for you and one for your kid. JDO, we'll put you right here. I'm thinking about naming these after some of my favorite cryptos, like obviously there's got to be a Bitcoin suite. There's got to be a Cardano suite, right? There's got to be, you know what? I should do a vote. We should do that on the channel.
I think I want a room named after me.
Do you want a room named after you, or would you like a part of the waterfall named after you? You're more of a kind of a majestic natural beauty than some building.
Maybe the room that's facing the water.
So the one thing I didn't show you guys is over here on the corner, right? On the far corner, which if you're looking at the screen would have been the left side. That's where the waterfall is, and that's my unit is the 2 units on the left. So one is going to be my bedroom, and the other is going to be my office / YouTube studio. And I'm going to do it up right? So like when I'm looking at the camera behind me, you'll see the waterfall. And because I do these at nights, I'm going to have a whole team that does nothing but design the lighting so that when I am filming the show, you see the waterfall in the back.
Oh, you're going to have lighting and everything?
Lights accenting shit.
You're going to have a water show, like a water fountain looking show?
Something like a Vegas fountain show with lights.
Jerry does not mess around.
Yeah,
he's bringing Vegas.
I don't know if I told you. I'm rich.
I love it.
I'm gonna do some shit. Hell yeah. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm so excited to come and visit and see what's going on out there. Like, I can't wait for like everything to open up so we can all start traveling.
So I'll tell you what, I'll share this with you guys. So my son's here and he's the tech guy, right? He's the Costa Rican tech support for his father. So I'm always asking him to do stuff. Well, what he's figured out, he can design a path, a path for the drone. And so I asked him, I said, I want you to set up this specific path. And every Tuesday, I want you to go take the drone out and fly it in that path. And we'll put together a time lapse of the whole project. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
Basically a snapshot, different snapshots of the path that this drone will take every Tuesday.
Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to watch.
Or maybe we do it a couple of days a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if you guys are physically out there, so it'd be easier to do on a regular basis.
Yeah. I'm getting messages from my doctor. My doctor's become a friend of mine. He's a Bitcoiner now.
Oh.
My doctor's asking me just now, messages on my phone, my doctor, Jerry, do you think the worst of it's over? Do I put some more money in Bitcoin? I'm like, yes. This is, of course, last week was the time to put money into Bitcoin. But hell yeah, put money into Bitcoin. And then he sent 3 messages. His last one was, I've checked your blood, your cholesterol, it's okay, but we need to improve. And he's talking about my A1C, which is the blood sugars. Isn't that cool though? My doctor's a Bitcoiner. I got him into Bitcoin, and now he's sending me text messages on a Friday night. No, Bill, we haven't broke ground yet. Anyway, I don't know, what am I doing? I feel like I want a cigarette. And I do. And I'm going to voice it, but I'm going to chew gum and I'm not going to smoke. Brady, chime in. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, it's time to
stick around with Jerry, and I guess what will come to mind will be, well, I'm trying to figure out how to wrap Jerry up in a success. It's just seeing him do what he did in the amount of time that he had, and it was just a matter of him contriving it all by himself. It's impressive to see, like, yeah, sure, cool, Bitcoin number go up, that's awesome, but what does it do? So in figuring out this yield and figuring out how to navigate everything to a level that he was comfortable with in order to earn this yield that he's now actually deploying into other assets that he wants to own, it's kind of like the most boring thing you could do is just hodl. So it's kind of the step before wealth is the success. And if you're just successful over and over and over, then the wealth comes.
I agree with every single thing you said wholeheartedly, with the exception of doing it by myself. I didn't do any of this by myself. I did it with you, Nick Black, Raul Powell, everybody in the
True.
stream, everybody in my page, especially my people in my Patreon group. You know, the Patreon group, a lot of these folks are really active. I mean, we're talking all the time with each other, and they think they're learning stuff from me. I'm learning stuff from them. You know what I mean? We're sharing stuff in our little WhatsApp group with each other. I've got people sending me stuff that I didn't know was out there. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. Thank you. In other words, none of us are doing this alone.
We're leveraging one another.
We're all
well, I think it's
one another. You know,
the economy
more than others. And the neat thing about it is, the truth of the matter is, we all will follow our own things that are imperative to us, right? We all know where we're at. If you have an inkling of where you want to be, then just keep your ears open and your eyes open for the things that will help you get there. There's so much great information out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when I was a kid, you couldn't get Husky pants. There was only one place to go. And there were periods of my life where I was a Husky kid. Well, all you normal kids could go to any store and get anything you want for clothing. I had to go to a special store to get pants. I remember 2 different summers that was the case, and that sucked. Well, nowadays, it doesn't matter what you are, you can go get what you want anywhere. And I think information is like that. So it doesn't matter what your goals are. Maybe your goals are, live a quality of life right now, right on. The information is there to do that. Maybe it's to build something in the future. Well, guess what? The information's there to do that. It could be any combination of that. Boom, the information's there to get that. It's just remarkable. It's remarkable that so much is available to us now. We just have to kind of sift through the bullshit to find the stuff that works for us.
It's like the Gutenberg press on explosion, and you just have to sift through stuff. You'll find it. You'll find something, whether it's valuable or not. That's kind of where the digging where it's fertile, I guess, versus looking for those random gems off the beaten path, I guess.
Absolutely. I don't know what happened to Bit. I wanted to give Bit of the whole final thoughts thing, but and it doesn't look like she's popping back in. It might have something to do with her daughter. I hope everything is okay. My only thought, folks, is one of gratitude. I'm so grateful for those of you that have joined in on this journey with me, who have shared your journey with me. It's kind of easy to get my journey because I'm the one broadcasting this over a YouTube channel. So when you folks interact with me on the private messages on the Facebook, or the direct messages on Twitter, or even your comments on the live streams, and then for those of you that are watching the replay and leaving a comment underneath, I check them all. I participate and respond to all of them. All of those things are impacting my experience, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you so very much for tuning in tonight and being a part of my journey, being a part of Brady's journey and Bitta's journey. And until next week, everybody, stay safe. Pura Vida.